My name's Jessie.
My name is Jason.
I'm Victor.
I'm a data theory major.
I'm a music history and industry major.
I'm currently pre-med.
I'm actually a transfer student. I'm a third-year transfer student.
From Glendale, California. I'm from Berkeley, California.
And I'm also from the Bay.
I am an international student. I'm from Vancouver.
And I'm also a dual American Canadian citizen.
And I'm Jasmine. In case you've never seen me before, I'm the YouTuber who runs this channel, and I am also a UCLA student. I'm not going to be talking that much throughout this video because honestly, I feel like I'm not really qualified to speak authoritatively on the topic of college admissions. Since the experience can be so different for every single person, I thought the best thing to do would be to represent a wide variety of perspectives from my peers here at UCLA. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. Let's get started.
I guess step one, like your GPA and SAT. That's like at least the first round of cuts that the admission office does.
I think like in terms of stats, everyone has like very similar stats, like, and you can look those up.
Having a good academic background already established, for me that was important, and then I could sort of lay any extracurricular stuff I did on top of that.
So once you factor that in and you're able to get to the second round, I feel like my personality and like the things I enjoy doing, so my hobbies and stuff, definitely were able to like push me forward and possibly get me in, but like that's just a speculation.
But I know for some people it's like completely different. Like some people would make their ECs like the primary focus of their application and still stand like an equal chance of getting in.
I don't think my like standard application was anything that really would stand out. I think I met the requirements to get in here, like GPA and test-wise. And I think really what brought me in here was my portfolio.
I think what got me in is my like activities, like, you know how like there's like 20 activities for UCs you could list. I probably had like more than 20 I could like put into it. I didn't really like do it for college apps, I'd say. Like I did all those activities because I wanted to do it, and like it wasn't even like specific towards my major or whatever. It kind of just like things I did.
Like I loved being a part of like a lot of different things. Not that I thought that it would actually do something, I just loved doing stuff like that and like keeping myself busy.
I think like for UCLA at least, like the people I've met here are all really well-rounded. Like they're not just like academic, they also have like their own like life going on with like clubs and everything, and they're genuinely like passionate about those things. I feel like
I know that everyone here, they all have so like much more to offer. Everyone's just so talented and like amazing, and they have so many great qualities.
But you know, the UCs aren't accepting ACT or SAT anymore, right?
Oh my god.
So like
it's a little different from what we experienced.
I feel like your essays are definitely more important now than ever.
Start really early.
Start it early.
Start early. You need to start early.
maybe don't write essays at 1 a.m.
Don't procrastinate, because I did that and it sucked.
I definitely started way too late. I was supposed to start in the summer, like in June, but then I ended up like finishing all my apps like the day before it was due, and it was a bit of an issue.
I started like August, September of my senior year.
For me, I actually started writing my college apps during my summer of junior year.
Starting early really reduced stress. Since the prompts are made, like for the UC system at least, are mainly the same every year, I started like really early in the summer.
I think if I would go back and do it again, I would start like the summer going into it if I had time, and I know I did.
If you have this summer to like write your apps, definitely take the opportunity to do so, because you will be a lot more busy during senior year, and you definitely want to enjoy your senior year a lot more.
Start early and do a lot of drafts, because like I went back and read my early decision like essay after I applied like to all of the regular decision schools in like January, and I was like, there's no way they could have accepted me with this first essay I wrote, you know what I mean? Like my first Common App essay, I was like, what is that, you know?
Get time to like review it, go over it, edit it, make sure it's like the best it can be before you submit it.
The best essays are the ones that like you write and then a week later you come back, look at it again, like go over it, and like you continuously do that, because if you are like down to the wire, you can't be super authentic, I feel like.
Starting early was the best decision I could have ever made. And I went to my counselor, my parents, my friends, and I had them read through my essays.
Feel free to reach out to people.
Really got a lot of help from a lot of the advisors at school.
And I think like having other people read your college app essays is really nice.
I asked a lot of counselors for help.
A lot of my professors from my community college like helped a lot in like my process of like writing essays.
Once I got like my upperclassmen friends to read it, they were all like, Victor, you have to change this and this and this. And it's just like, I just feel like I had a lot of blinds
blind spots. But I remember my first draft, I was like, oh wow, I'm writing such like deep stuff. And then I got other people to read it and then they were like, Victor, you're not that deep. Like you have to cut out all this stuff. There's too much fluff, just get to the point.
I got my English teacher to kind of like proofread my essay. And after we like did it and like edited it together, it sounded very like professional, like syntax was like amazing. But then I got my friend to read it again and she was like, that doesn't sound like you. Like, you know, the like energy isn't there anymore. So I feel like get advice and like get people to read over your essay, but like in the end kind of make sure it still sounds like yourself.
Something that wasn't necessarily clear to me was like the sheer number of things that they would have you do, but also how similar some essay questions are to others. So for some essays, like once you've written one, you've written them all. So it's like pretty easy to do some transfers and like maybe minor adjustments. Basically have a couple main ideas for like a couple essays and then that'll get you through most of what you need to do.
One thing I noticed with myself sometimes and with high schoolers is they would try to mold themselves into a perfect cookie cutter college applicant. And honestly, that's not the way to go. Like you wanna
be yourself more, be more authentic.
Be yourself, which is so cliche because everyone tells you to be yourself.
Be unique. And I know that's so like lame to say, like be unique.
I was like also really stressed out about like what makes me like unique, you know, like what do they want to see. But I feel like there's so many people applying every year that like there's no story that's like 100% unique that like they've never seen before. Don't like try to think what they want to hear. It's just like what story represents you the most, because they would have heard it, like whatever you talk about, they would have heard the topic, but it's like what do you want to say within that topic, I'd say.
I started to realize that it's so much harder to write about what you think someone would find interesting about you. Like I just started writing about things that I was just genuinely passionate about.
Because they really are looking for people who are diverse, just like in all forms.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. It could be anything, right?
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have to. You didn't have to cure cancer. You don't have to like have the most super mind-blowing impressive things. It can just be like your, you know, like your day-to-day life, anything you think is unique to you.
So one thing I did was I wrote about how I ran a meme club in high school. Which now that I think about it is like, why the hell did I write about that?
It was about like a family and friend tradition that I have with some of my like close friends since childhood. It wasn't an accomplishment or anything. It was just something that was really important to me, a memory that I think shaped me as a person.
I definitely feel like I done that pretty well, but I feel like I could have done better by putting more personality into my essays rather than just like listing the facts and like the things I've did in high school.
Because I know a lot of people who did certain extracurriculars just because they're like, oh, look on my college app, but it didn't work out because everyone else did that. And if everyone else does that, you're not going to stand out in this pool of many fish. So like, for example, one kind of stereotypical college activity I heard about was like volunteering at a food pantry, for example. Like if you really love doing that and if you really enjoy it, do it. There's nothing wrong with that. But like if you're just doing it to put it on your application, it's not going to come out importantly. Like do something you're generally interested on.
There's like a lot of pressure in high school to do stuff so it's like strictly so you can get into college. And if you can forget all of that and just do things that you genuinely enjoy, it makes one, like you can write about it a lot easier in terms of like actually applying, and those essays come off a lot more genuine. And it just like makes your overall experience good, because why do you want to spend time like your high school years doing things you don't enjoy?
I think I really applied to too many schools.
I actually applied to like 23 colleges, so there were definitely some regrets right there.
So I think I should have looked like over my college list one more time just to make sure I was really like interested in applying, because it really is expensive.
Probably tone your college list down to around like 10 to 15 and focus more on schools you really enjoy to get in compared to like just reach schools to you or like schools that like your mom told you to apply to.
If you can't see yourself at that school, like don't bother applying, because it's a waste of money. You have to, like, even for safety schools and stuff, you have to be able to sort of see yourself there.
I kind of could have saved myself a lot of work and money and time if I refined my list a little bit more.
Try not to get too caught up in how famous the school is necessarily. If you're just looking at prestige and you're doing it for like somebody else's benefit and you're thinking more about, oh, what's going to look good on my resume, it's going to be really hard to find somewhere that you actually want to go. It doesn't matter. You could go to community college and you could end up working the same job as somebody else.
And I like talk to a lot of transfer students, and they say like the best professors that they've had have been at community colleges.
I always told myself, oh, I'm gonna go somewhere like straight out of high school. But then my mom, she was like, no, you need to go to community college.
Didn't really have an idea of like if I even wanted to go to college or if I wanted like what particular degree I wanted to pursue. I feel like community college kind of gave me the space to explore options with like a really low risk setting.
You do save a lot of money.
Credits were like $100 a unit or whatever, like something crazy.
So I would definitely recommend it. And I wasn't ready to like move away. So that helped me grow into who I needed to be before I moved away.
Wait, when you're first starting your college journey, like, you know, you don't have to necessarily worry about all of those things in the future.
I'm only 23, but I'm like a non-traditional student at this age. You're always gonna feel rushed. You're always gonna feel like, oh, I've got to figure it all out right now. But you know, it's a daily thing, and I know everyone says that to some degree.
Everything happens for a reason. If you believe in the process and you manifest it, it will happen.
Don't beat yourself up too much.
You will cry. You'll cry, but it's okay because you'll get through it.
You're going to find somewhere that's good for you, and your college experience is what you make of it.
Never forget about like taking care of yourself and making sure that you're all good as well. Drink water. I don't know. I believe that like if you're meant to be somewhere, you're meant to be somewhere. So best of luck to all of you. You guys are all gonna do amazing with your college app, so good luck.